Hello, Josh. Hello, Troy.
Hi.
Hello.
Very happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you too.
Yeah.
So it's been 6 years we've been waiting for a new album of the Queens. Why does that take 6 years to make a new album?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, the last time he was here was with them Cricket Vultures, and I was here with Sweethead, and our bass player was out with Mini Mansions. Dean was with Dead Weather. We were all doing other stuff for a little while.
That's the explanation.
That's one explanation.
Okay.
Really busy.
Really busy. Both of you are really workaholics, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's only 24 hours in every day, no matter what I try.
Like Clockwork.
Exactly.
So you said that this title, Like Clockwork, refers to when things go south. Can you explain what's wrong when things go south?
It just became like a mantra, really. Every time something went wrong, it was just like clockwork. And then when it would go right, finally, it was like clockwork, too.
Okay.
So it sort of just titled itself, as well as we couldn't think of anything better.
It's kind of a joke.
Lots of what we do is kind of a joke, you know.
And did you feel a lot of pressure for this album?
Not from anyone on the outside, really.
No?
Yeah, I'm just, you know, there's always, wherever you set your own bar, and hopefully you set your bar higher than anyone else would put theirs for you, you know? So it feels good to stretch a little bit. You know?
Yeah. There are many collaborations on the new album. There's Elton John, Dave Grohl, Trent Reznor, Jake Shears, Alex Turner, and original bassist Nick Olivieri. Yeah. What inspired you to work with such an eclectic mix of people?
Well, I think part of what we think of ourselves as our band, I think that we try to make our favorite music, and we try to do it with our favorite people, our friends. And in the case of like Elton John, he's a new friend, he's definitely
an old queen actually, but I think he's just a wonderful musician and another fellow workaholic and funny and well dressed and just nice, you know. This record was maybe a little bit difficult to make, and so it's funny how asking a friend of yours to come over and like pick one, it's like Nick or Alex Turner, and just to come over, and it almost takes you out of how hard it is sometimes, or how hard it was this time. So I think it was almost relying on your friends to sort of give you a little mental vacation.
And you have no less than 3 drummers. You have Dave Grohl.
No more than 3 drummers either, though.
Joey Castillo and Jon Theodore. So why did Joey leave?
Well, we let Joey go. It was a group decision, and you know, I think, you know, I personally was maybe a bit in the fog and trying to figure out what it means to make a 6th record, and I asked these guys to come into that with me, you know, and 5 of us went in the fog and 4 of us came out.
Yeah.
And so can you introduce us to your new drummer?
Oh yeah. I mean, Jon Theodore, he's our new friend too. I mean, we've seen him in Mars Volta before, and he always seemed to shine. You know, just a great human being and great drummer, and
he's damn good looking too.
We call him.
It's very important.
He's very good looking. John Philippe is what we call him sometimes.
Oh, John Philippe. Sounds French.
It's kind of.
So there's also the comeback of old collaborators like Mark Lanegan and also your bass player, Nick Olivieri.
I've been friends with Nick since 3 months after we parted ways all that many years ago. I think I'm not very good with time. I think it was...
Like Clockwork?
Yeah. I could probably use a clock every now and then, you know. But I think it was more than 8 years ago or something like that. And but we've been friends since 3 months after we parted ways, and so I don't expect outsiders to know this, but it's just the way it is. And he made his new record at my studio, so he was dropping off some vinyl, and he just said, "Do you need any background vocals?" And it was like, actually, yeah. And Mark and I go to lunch and the movies together all the time, you know. And so it's nice to know someone for a long time. And you have that trust together. And especially when you're doing songs and you're a little unsure, you know, it's nice to, Mark is the meanest guy I know that I like. So I know that he'll tell me the truth, you know.
So friendship is really important in Queens of the Stone Age.
Of course, it's important out of Queens of the Stone Age, you know. I mean, what else is there but your family and your friends? There's nothing really worth it, you know.
Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails is singing on the record. I heard that he was supposed to produce the album.
No? I asked him if he would be interested in producing the record, and he and I were having these talks about what it means to do all this, you know, and what do you do when you don't know what to do, perhaps. I hate to sound too dour, you know, but this record is born out of this, you know. And we started talking about it, and then I wasn't quite ready, and he begun the Nine Inch Nails record. I don't know if he would have done it or not. I can't speak for him, but I'd like to think he may have, you know. So.
But then you produced the album with Mark Rankin, who's also famous sound engineer, famous for his collaboration with Adele, Foster the People, and Plan B. Did you want it to sound more pop, maybe?
No, I mean, I have a 7-year-old daughter named Camille. She wouldn't stop me from playing Rolling in the Deep over and over and over and over. And I got to know that song inside and out and the way it sounds. And it sounds wonderful. The drums are why. The drums in that song, the kick drum, I was just like, that's freaking awesome, basically. And I knew he would understand what we were trying to do.
Yeah, it was also kind of a conscious decision to open up our sound a little bit, have a little more of a taller ceiling and a lower floor and wider wings. And I think, he helped us clear some of the air a little bit sonically.
Not to mention, when you don't know somebody, you're always putting your best foot forward all the time.
Yeah.
And it's nice to get dressed up for company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The result is fantastic, so that was a good choice.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's great.
What I liked about the album is that it really sounds like, even if there's many people singing, everybody's equal. It sounds like there's no egos or...
Yeah, well, I mean, we do everything by consensus, and I always think of us, for some reason, like a pirate ship, you know?
Yeah.
You know, because you're kind of just going from town to town and taking and giving whatever you can, you know?
Drinking rum?
Well, it's in the IV I use every morning, so I don't know if I can call it drinking it necessarily. But, and, you know, everyone has a role to play on this pirate ship, and every role is important as the next role, because...
So there's no captain?
Well, captain's, yeah, important too, but no more important than the cook. If the cook fails, we die.
Of course.
Yeah. If the rigger fails, we die.
Yeah.
The only thing that you really have to worry about is when someone actually believes that one role is more important than the other one. Because then you're not on board with pirates, you're surrounded by assholes.
About the voice, even if there's a lot of guests, there's a real unity, and it almost sounds like if it's only one voice. Did you want that result from the beginning?
You know, as I said before, and I don't want to focus on too much, as I said, because it's started from a rough place. And I think we've always played our way out of trouble, although we've played our way into trouble a number of times as well, but it's the best way to explain things that are difficult to explain. And I think this record comes from a voice where there's no other way to say it but the way it is, you know? It feels unnecessary to put a mask on it or to try to soften the blow, you know?
Sometimes your harmonies remind me of early Bowie. I was wondering if he was an inspiration for you?
I mean, he's always been an inspiration for me, particularly. I mean, how could you not like David Bowie? There are so many, points in his musical experience where you're like, that sounds completely different than that, but it's still his voice. And I mean, you know, you get to produce Iggy, play and sing on his records, and then make your own records. And it's just, you know, he's always been an inspiration. Plays with everybody, you know. I think that we definitely...
I think there's a certain drama and cabaret, and a certain, for lack of a better term, we sort of paint with bricks, but it's like this kind of almost coding sort of sluggishness to it, you know. And things like Wendy Carlos, and as he said, that Iggy Bowie combination of where I think to myself, what is this? What is this? It's like that drama played out, you know, just feels natural sometimes. And probably because we like it, you know, so.
There are two wonderful ballads on the record. I was wondering, is it harder to write ballads?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just an expression, you know, that's what comes out, and you don't really know when inspiration's gonna hit you like a bolt of lightning, and that you have no choice but to, you know.
There's a lot of pain and sadness in the lyrics. Are you okay?
We are now.
Yeah, I'm okay now, yeah. You know, the first song that I've never done demos before because I just don't believe in them, and you know, and the first song I had was The Vampire of Time and Memory.
My favorite.
It might be my favorite too, but I hated it in the beginning because it was just so you know. And my wife, actually, Brody, she helped me out quite a bit because I said, who wants to listen to that, you know? And she said, who cares?
Good answer.
And I just remembered, oh yeah, that's right, who cares, you know? Because I think you have to do this stuff for yourself first so that you can let it go, you know?
And Josh, you said that wherever it was most uncomfortable, that's where I decided to go. So I was wondering, have you purposely pushed yourself out of your comfort zone this time around?
Well, I mean, I like to do that in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that if I'm afraid to do something, and so I make a decision to go the other way, that sort of what I'm afraid of is in the driver's seat. And that doesn't, if I wrote that down, it wouldn't read right. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, the thing you're most afraid of, if you just maybe turn and face it a little more, you realize you probably didn't need to be that scared of it at the end, you know? And I think if you take the hard road all the time, then eventually it becomes your easy road and there is no more hard road, maybe, if you're lucky, you know? So I don't have any hobbies, so I just do stuff like that, you know?
It's a good hobby.
It's good work if you can get it.
The cover of the album and the video has been made by Boneface, an English artist.
It sounds cute the way you say it. It's good.
Oh, how do you say it?
I say
That's
Boneface
perfect.
and it sounds uncomfortable, but
So why this collaboration?
Basically, there's a magazine called Juxtapose. It's an art magazine, and they did a piece on him. And I mean, the colors that he used just kind of jumped out, and his imagery was, you know, superheroes that are damaged, and I think we kind of identified with some of that, you know.
But it's quite morbid, no?
Yeah, very.
it's funny.
But there's definitely a sense of, you know, dark comedy in there.
Well, I mean, I just looked at that stuff and at his artwork, and I thought, I know who this guy is. And he's 23 and he lives in Liverpool. And he just got out of art school, but for some reason I think he'll know who we are. So I just called him and had to do that a couple times because I don't think he believed that we wanted to, or I don't know what he believed honestly, but
He thought it was a joke, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Possibly.
Stone Age?
I started to think it was a joke for a sec too, and then we flew him out to the studio to stay with us for a week while we recorded, so he could see how close he was already, you know. And
So-
he started drawing right
Yeah,
away.
Right away, yeah.
While you were recording,
Yeah.
rehearsing, and
We were recording, and he was in the office right next to the control room, and he could hear it all, and he just started drawing, and we talked about, you know, now that we've done this for a number of years and a number of records, and the way the music business is, you know, I mean, this is the time to just be yourself more than ever. And we kind of just want to make art, and I don't want to worry about it anymore. I don't want to fight with somebody about, you should do this and you do that, you know. So we just made all this stuff ourselves before we had a label, just because we thought, we'll just give you all that, and why don't you just put that out, you know? And so we worked with him in that we just talked a little bit and played him some stuff, and then we didn't get in his way. We just let him be Boneface, and he just sent the stuff that
Totally
matches.
clicked.
voila.
Yeah.
Leaving a major and signing with a smaller label seems like a very clever move.
Sounds like a dangerous move.
Well, probably dangerous, but clever. Do you think other big bands will follow your example?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that it was a good choice for us because, you know, we know one guy at the label for a long time, and it seemed that, you know, after all the people that we met with, it seemed to just kind of feel right, it just seemed that they were, you know, kind of saying we're in this together, you know. So that was kind of why we went that direction.
And what are the benefits of being in a smaller label?
Well, I'm not trying to kiss their ass or anything, but they're music lovers.
Yeah.
Matador and Beggars, they love music.
And they have time.
All these people could have gotten jobs, I'm sure, at a major label, but it's you know, music is a religion, you know. It's something worth dedicating your time and your life to, and so I know it's a business as well, and it needs to do well or it disappears, right? But at the same time, if you just do something and work hard at it and you love it, then you can be happy with whatever happens. I always have said that if you expect anything from music, you expect too much.
Don't expect anything.
No, because, you know, I mean, I guess a little part of me is always waiting for someone to just go like, you guys gotta go now. And then you just go, all right, well, we'll go home. But not in a morbid way. It's just like, I'm prepared for rain and I hope for sun. And I think they do a really good job. We told them we want to make videos for whatever song, and we want to give this album to directors, and let them choose what they want to do. And if they both choose the same song, who cares? And they were like, that sounds cool. And I was so taken aback, I thought it was gonna, you know, because I'm so used to like, well, we wondered if, you know, and I just don't want to spend any energy having to justify
Talking
reasons
about
to
marketing and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, that's not my area of expertise. We're just here to try to do something cool, and would you get the fuck out of the way, please? You know?
My last question. We've been waiting 6 years for your 6th album. Can you promise we're not going to wait 7 years for your 7th album, please?
That I can promise.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You have my word as a
Okay.
gentleman.
Thank you, Queens of the Stone Age.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Very interesting.